Good morning. I'm pleased to welcome you to the commencement exercises of the University of Georgia School of Law class of 2017. At this time, may I please ask you to ensure that your cell phones are turned off or are placed on vibrate. And as you are able, please stand for the singing of the national anthem by Mr. Greg Jacobson, a 2015 graduate of the law school.
Present arms. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please take your seats. Members of the class of 2017, today is your day. Last night you heard two inspiring toasts in your honor. And I'd like to begin my welcome with the theme that Shelley left you with, which is that your studies have been a marathon and not a sprint. And as you cross this stage, you can think about it as your finish line to one marathon and your starting line for another. And as you cross this stage, let me encourage you to think about three words: prepare, connect, and lead. Prepare. Marathons require training. From your first day, whether in Professor Baradaran's contracts class, Professor Shipley's civil procedure class, you have prepared yourself for what lies ahead. You have spent late nights and long hours mastering the intricacies of legal doctrine that at times seemed obscure and elusive. And many of you have complemented this theoretical knowledge with a practical one, appearing in court on behalf of voiceless victims of abuse, arguing before judges on behalf of clients who could not otherwise afford a lawyer, or helping a small business person start a new company. As you cross this finish line, let me urge you to approach your next marathon, whether in law, business, public service, or some other vocation, with all the passion and dedication that you've poured into your run so far. Connect. Running marathons requires training partners, and the legal profession, like all professions, is ultimately built on relationships. Relationships with clients, with co-counsel, with opposing counsel, with judges, and with your community. From your first day here, law school has provided an opportunity for you to build relationships with your fellow classmates at events like the EGAF auction, with alumni and friends at events like the Davenport Benham Society's annual banquet, and with staff and the faculty of the law school during daily interactions. And on behalf of the staff and the faculty, I want you to know that it has been a true honor to accompany you on this race, and it will be an equal honor to accompany you on the next one. As you cross this stage, we have been and we remain committed to your success. And please know that our commitment as your training partners endures. Lead. As a proud alum of this law school, you join a legacy of leaders, governors, judges, and attorneys general, just to name a few. And this institution's legacy of leaders may inspire you to follow in her or his footsteps. And your degree offers the keys to being a leader in whatever your chosen calling. Because remember that being a leader doesn't always mean winning the marathon. Sometimes it means helping someone else cross the finish line. You can be a leader in your hometown. You can be a leader in starting a business. You can be a leader in bridging divides in a community. You can be a leader in your family. As you cross this stage, remember the keys that are being entrusted to you and be ready to answer your call to be the leader whenever it comes. Prepare, connect, lead. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge 3 groups of people in the audience today. The first are some of your fellow leaders. These include our judicial leaders. In addition to your commencement speaker, the Honorable Carol Hunstein, we welcome the Honorable Steve Jones of the United States District Court for the Northern District of Georgia, a graduate of the class of 1987. The Honorable Harris Hines, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Georgia and a member of the Law School's Board of Visitors. The Honorable John Ellington, a member of the judge of the Georgia Court of Appeals and a member of the class of 1985. And the Honorable George Carley, a retired justice of the Georgia Supreme Court and a member of the class of 1962. We welcome our alumni leaders, Ms. Kathleen Amos, the chair of our Board of Visitors and member of the class of 1982. Mr. Wade Herring, the president of the Law School Association and a member of the class of 1984. And Mr. Andy Davis, a member of the class of 1984 and the president-elect of the Law School Association. The second group are the folks who make today possible. Getting to graduation is hard. Putting on graduation is hard too. And a lot of people help make this possible, and I'd like to acknowledge 2 of them. One of them is Lisa Mathis. Lisa heads the Law School's Office of Special Events, and I'll tell you that every cap, every gown, every program, every chair, every bottle of water ultimately falls to someone's responsibility, and that's Lisa's. So Lisa, wherever you are, thank you for what you've done to make today possible. And the second person I'd like to thank is Alan Pope. Alan, can you slip out here? Alan's hiding. So Alan has, for the last 30 years, been an electrician for the university. He's behind this door back here right now. In over 30 years, he has never missed a law school graduation. Alan's retiring this October. Members of the class of 2017, your graduation is the last graduation that Alan's ever going to serve as the electrician at. The sound, the lights, all the little details that make memories possible are made possible by people like Alan and the folks in the Facilities Maintenance Division. So will you join me in a round of applause for Alan? And I have one more group whom I want to thank. As you reflect on your marathon today, remember you have not run it alone. Your parents, spouses, partners, children's, relatives, friends who are here today, and those who could not be, have supported you thus far, and I am sure that they, like we, will continue to do so. May I ask the family and friends of our graduates to rise, and to ask you, members of the class of 2017, in your loudest possible voice, to thank them for what they've done for you. And now, members of the class of 2017, it is my privilege to introduce one of your leaders, Mr. Robert Pooleil. Robert needs no introduction to you, but for those of you who don't know him, Robert is the current president of the Student Bar Association, the former first-year and second-year class president. He served in the law school's award-winning advocacy program as the executive online editor of the Georgia Law Review. And following graduation, Robert will clerk for the Honorable Robert Conrad of the United States District Court for the Western District of North Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, the president of the graduating student body, Mr. Robert Pooleil.
Hi. Thank you, Dean, for those remarks. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to the University of Georgia Law School volleyball court. Some of you might know that usually we have graduation in front of the law school, and it does have a sense of symbolism to it. You're finishing a journey outside the walls that you started it in, but it's also hot as hell outside, so symbolism will yield to practicality today. Whether we graduate in the gym or North Campus, though, it's Saturday in Athens. It's a great day where we celebrate the class of 2017, their accomplishments and their success. Before getting started, though, there are those that this class would like to thank. To those of you sitting in the stands, our friends, and our family. Today is not just about the success of us students in goofy, overpriced rented robes. You share this success with us today as well. When your loved one walks across the stage today, they share this success with you because my guess is that many of you have had a lot of phone calls with stressed out law students. You've had to deal with postponed and canceled plans. You've had to deal with legalese infiltrating your dinner conversations. Today, we owe so much to you. Our support network is what you are. We share today with you because without your love, your patience, your guidance, we might not be here today. The second group of people that this class would like to thank are those that saw us through law school day to day, our law professors. Y'all scared the crap out of us for 3 years in a row. But I think I can speak for everyone when I say that we were all really quick to realize how special UGA law professors actually are. With open doors and open hearts, you were our compass through a turbulent storm. Many leave this school today on a career path guided by your mentorship, dedicated by your hours. The gratitude we have for you is immeasurable. The impact that you've had on our lives is unquantifiable. Truly, we are here today because of your advice on our worst days and your praise on our best days. But while we recognize those that help us with our goals, we're here to really celebrate the class of 2017. Look how far you've come. In 2014, we walked into Hirsch Hall together, ready to tackle our first law school class. We walked in armed with case books and reading notes. We walked in thinking, how bad could this possibly be? Well, it was bad. It could be very, very bad. Nothing could have prepared us for that first day of law school. Nothing could have prepared us for the Socratic method. Nothing could have prepared me for Professor Coonan. Back then, it seemed as if no amount of knowledge could prepare you for class. But look how far you've come today. Together, we have been torn down, we have been retrained, and we have been rebuilt by one of the finest law schools in the nation. And the beautiful thing is that when you go through that process as a group, bonds quickly form. And through that bond, a class defines itself, and a personality emerges. When describing this class, I'm reminded of a phrase from my favorite TV show, and I think many others, The West Wing. And for those of you who have not had the privilege to watch literally the best television show to air, The West Wing chronicled the challenges of a fictitious president and his staff. Well, with all the challenges that could arise under presidency, by the time one catastrophe was overcome, 5 others seemed to pop up. But that never stopped President Bartlett. That never stopped his staff. No, once a problem was addressed, he quite simply asked, "What's next?" There was no time to pause. There was no time to savor success. There was more to do. What's next is exactly the phrase that captures this class. In a journey as arduous as law school, it's easy to get winded. It's easy to become overwhelmed by the future, and it's far, far too easy to quit. It is, however, a whole other thing to find a group of people not only prepared for the challenges of today, but a group of people who look to tomorrow and have the bravery to ask, what's next? When we walked into Hirsch Hall for the first time together back in 2014, we realized how hard this journey was going to be. We went home, we read with increased diligence, and we invested more time. But we came back to school the next day and we asked, what's next? Before we knew it, we had survived our first memo, our first round of finals, our first brief, and our first year. And then we stood as 2Ls, and we looked to tomorrow, and we asked, what's next? As 2Ls, we finally thought we mastered the basics of the classroom. Professor Coonan didn't seem quite so scary. But then mock trial, moot court, negotiations, journals, jobs, and clinics all bombarded us. But this class kept going. This class kept succeeding, and this class kept asking, what's next? To quote President Bartlett one last time, Every time the class of 2017 thought they had measured their capacity to meet a challenge, they looked up and they realized that that capacity may very well be limitless. This is a great class of great legal minds. They will do what is hard, they will do what is great. And in a time where televisions and phones bombard us with news that seems to get worse and worse, we need those who have the capacity not just to meet the challenges of today, but the bravery to look to tomorrow and ask, what's next? With a class that is always looking forward to the next challenge to overcome, perhaps it is symbolic to graduate in a gym. For like law school, gyms hardly display personal glory. Athletes train without an audience. They face their limits with the audacity to demand more from themselves. What have we accomplished in the past 3 years if not intense training? What have we achieved in the past 3 years if not shattering our own limits? Class of 2017, today is your day. I am your biggest fan. I came into the school hoping to meet new people and maybe make a couple friends along the way. I had no idea that I was going to have a new family. I am so proud and infinitely indebted to this class. And as a part of this class, I couldn't be prouder to stand with you today and every day and look into tomorrow and ask, what's next? Thank you. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask Ms. Carson Masters, our 3L class president, Dean Rutledge, and Mr. Herring to join me on stage to present our class gift. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Class of 2017, this morning you justifiably feel that you have spiked the ball in the game of life. You served an ace. If only for this one brief shining moment, you have established order on the court. But today, my earnest duty is to give you a trigger warning. Here it is. We are talking about leaving Athens. Some of you were here as undergraduates, and no doubt this has been the best decade of your life. Now all of you understand what a special place this is, not just Athens and the University of Georgia, but more specifically, the law school. Fortunately, your relationship to this place does not end today, but has only just begun. You entered as students this morning, and you will leave as alumni, joining almost 11,000 living law school alums who went before you, an unbroken red and black line dating back to 1859. As alums, you are automatically members of the Law School Association, but I invite you to stay more intentionally connected to your law school. In candor, one reason to stay connected is your enlightened self-interest. As referenced already, your fellow alums are and will be leaders not only in the legal profession, but also in business, politics, and the judiciary, not just in our state, but throughout our nation and even the world. For example, sooner than you can appreciate, your peers will become judges. When that happens for the first time, you will wonder what to call them. My very serious graduation day advice to you is this: call them judge. If they want you to call them something else, they will tell you. My graduation day prediction for you is this: they will not tell you. Staying connected to the law school offers rewards deeper and more meaningful than merely networking opportunities. Your continued friendships with fellow alums from across generations, not only your class, will add depth and meaning to both your professional and your personal lives. Your ongoing relationship with the university and its law school connects you to something larger than yourself. Today, we celebrate not only your achievements, but we also celebrate and affirm that this place matters. Institutions matter. Community matters. The rule of law matters. And even while we celebrate, we solemnly remember that the continued vitality of place and institution and community and rule of law are not guaranteed. As sons and daughters of this law school, you are called. You are called to cherish and support and defend this place, this community of scholars, your law school, with your time, talents, gifts, and service. With many schools, you get your degree, you are out, and you are done. Not here. You go to the University of Georgia School of Law for the rest of your life. Today, at the same time that we send you out into the wide, wide world, I am privileged to say, welcome home. We'll leave the light on. Congratulations to you and your families. May God bless.
Good morning. I'm Usha Rodriguez, and I'm going to speak to you today, briefly, I promise, because I represent the faculty of Georgia Law. I'm proud beyond measure to call myself a member of this faculty. The impact of their teaching and their scholarship goes far beyond the borders of this state. And now I'm speaking to today's graduates. We, your faculty, have worked with you for 3 years. We taught you in classrooms and in clinics. We met with you in our offices and over coffee, sometimes other beverages. 3 years sounds like a long time, but it went by fast, didn't it? Now we let you go back into the world. We are so proud of you. And I trust, I hope, that you are proud of us too. Are you? Okay. I'll ask my colleagues to please rise. Graduates of 2017 and their distinguished guests, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the faculty of the University of Georgia School of Law. Please join me in recognizing and thanking them.
My name is Alex Scher, and I am a clinical faculty member here at the law school. One of the great pleasures of being a lawyer is the chance to use your skills to help someone, to solve a problem. As you graduates well know, these skills include the ability to read the law, to apply it to a fact pattern, and to assess whether and how it could advance a client's goals. Being a lawyer involves other pleasures as well, to listen carefully, to understand fully, to analyze rigorously, to communicate clearly, and to act assertively, candidly, and with a baseline of respect for those around you. Graduates, you have taken full advantage of your chance to practice these abilities here. Over 80% of you have taken a clinical course. You have advocated for individuals, businesses, and governments. You have both prosecuted and defended. You have resolved disputes and helped people plan for the future. And you've taken advantage of our newest clinics and externships. You've advocated for the victims of abuse in childhood through the CEASE Clinic. You've addressed legal needs that affect the health and well-being of clients in the Community Help Clinic. And you've worked full-time for judges and lawyers who serve the public in Atlanta and in Washington, D.C. Through these experiences, you have also encountered another pleasure of practicing law, perhaps the most important one, the challenge of connecting private concerns to public values. Lawyers have the chance to recognize widespread injustice within the confines of a single client's case. Lawyers have the chance to speak for those who could not otherwise use the law, and once again to assert the most basic values of our life together: safety, freedom, equality, fairness, and resilience. That chance due even to the least among us to grow and to thrive. We at the law school are proud of this work that you have done here. Many of you have worked in volunteer organizations and reached out to your community and to its people. Many of you have found summer jobs to pursue your chosen causes with the help of a vibrant program of public interest fellowships. And of course, you have found a job, or will find a job that will allow you to contribute to our lives together in ways that you cannot yet imagine. Do not forget that working in the public interest is one of the chief pleasures of practicing law, one that you can experience as a career choice or as a commitment to pro bono service. Working in the public interest expands your range of reference beyond the daily grind. It allows you to act in accord with your own values. It permits you to help individuals who need your help. And it weaves you into the fabric of your community in ways that will fill your life and the life of those around you with meaning and with purpose. Now I want to introduce you to Carson Masters, who will in turn introduce our graduation speaker. Originally from Augusta, Georgia, Carson graduated with her undergraduate degree in political science from Augusta State University. In law school, she served as the 1L and 2L vice president and is currently the 3L class president. Carson is also a member of the mock trial team and serves as senior managing editor for the Georgia Journal of International and Comparative Law. I have to add that this spring she participated in the Corporate Counsel externship course, where she worked in the Office of Legal Affairs for her alma mater, Augusta University. Upon graduation, she will return to her hometown in Augusta to clerk for the Honorable J. Wade Padgett and Daniel J. Craig. Carson Masters.
Good morning. It is my honor today to be able to introduce our commencement speaker. Justice Carol W. Hunstein was appointed to the Supreme Court in November 1992 by then-Governor Zell Miller. On July 1st, 2009, Governor Miller swore her in as Chief Justice, and she served in that role until August 2013. She is the second woman in history to serve as a permanent member of the court. In 1984, Justice Hunstein won election to the Superior Court of DeKalb County. Prior to serving on the bench, Justice Hunstein was in private practice. She's been a member of the Georgia Bar since 1976. Justice Hunstein received her Juris Doctor in 1976 from Stetson University College of Law. She received a Bachelor of Science degree from Florida Atlantic University in 1972 and an Associate of Arts degree from Miami-Dade Junior College in 1970. As a Superior Court judge, she was active at the county, state, and national levels. She chaired many DeKalb County committees, including the Alimony and Support Unit Committee, the Diversion Center Committee, the Probation Committee, and the Domestic Violence Task Force. In 1989, then Chief Justice Marshall appointed her to chair the Georgia Commission on Gender Bias in the Judicial System, which issued its report to the Supreme Court in 1991. She is a former district director of the National Association of Women Judges and chaired the local host committee for the NAWJ 1995 annual conference, which was held in Atlanta. Justice Hunstein was the first woman to serve as president of the Council of Superior Court Judges. By virtue of that office, she was the first person ever to have served as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court before becoming a permanent member of the court. In 1991, all 7 sitting justices recused themselves and designated 7 Superior Court judges to hear and decide a case. Justice Hunstein, as president of the council, served by designation as Chief Justice. Justice Hunstein chaired the 1993, 1998, and 2001 state commissions on child support guidelines. Before becoming Chief Justice, she chaired the Georgia Commission on Access and Fairness, charged with implementing the recommendations of the Commission on Gender Bias and the Commission on Racial and Ethnic Bias. She also chaired the Unauthorized Practice of Law Committee and the Georgia Commission on Interpreters. She's a member of the Bleckley Inn of Court. Before becoming chief, she served as a liaison to the Chief Justice's Commission on Professionalism. In the course of her career, she has received many honors, including an honorary LL.D. from Stetson University College of Law, where she is also an honorary member of the Board of Overseers, a commendation for outstanding service from the Georgia General Assembly, the Emory University Legal Association for Women Students Public Service Award, the DeKalb County Women's Network Women Who Have Made a Difference Award, the Joseph T. Tuggle Professionalism Award, the American Bar Association Commission on Women in the Professions Margaret Brent Award, the Shining Star Award from the Atlanta Women's Foundation, and the Commitment to Equality Award from the State Bar of Georgia Committee on Women and Minorities in the Profession. In 2012, she was named Georgia Woman of the Year by the Georgia Commission on Women and the Georgia Women's Institute. She has 3 children, John F. Abate, Krista Hunstein, and Gabrielle Hunstein, and 2 grandsons, Johnny Abate and Daniel Courier Hedges Jr., and a granddaughter, Jovi Lynn Hedges. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce Justice Carol W. Hunstein.
Well, I have to tell you, I'm delighted to be here on this occasion. And I really do want to congratulate everyone who is graduating. I understand there are 3 separate degrees that are going to be handed out. We have the Master's in the Study of Law, Master's of Law, and the Juris Doctor. And I think it's just marvelous that all of you are here, that you have successfully completed your law school career, although there may be times you wish you could come back. Don't lose touch with some of your schoolmates. I think it's really important to pay attention to that. I'm so honored to be asked to speak to the 2017 graduates of the University School of Law. It frankly brings back very fond memories. When I graduated in 1976, it's hard to believe it's been it's been over 40 years. But you will find that time, you all look so young, that time is just going to fly. And if you are dedicated to the law and you practice in whatever field there is, you will find that it will fill your life and it will be very, very fulfilling. As I said, I congratulate each of you for your academic success you have achieved today. The study of law, as most of you will agree, has been correctly termed a jealous mistress. It is very demanding in our time, our effort, and our intellect. Success achieved in the study of law and its application and practice is almost always, and I could take the almost out, a direct result of an individual's commitment of time and effort. And as the other speakers have alluded to, while you have told at your studies, many others, parents, spouses, significant others, children, siblings, relatives and friends have been there to offer encouragement, advice, and possibly a shoulder to cry on when necessary. Don't forget their sacrifices. Take a little time today to offer encouragement and to tell them how much you appreciate their help and their support. Every time we have oral argument and there are new lawyers being sworn in to the State Bar of the Georgia Supreme Court, one of the justices gives a presentation, and almost always that justice makes that remark: please thank the people who have been there for you to help you get through this. Now, most of you will now leave the world of academia, and after passing the bar, begin the practice of law. And I want to confirm what the dean said. You've done one marathon, you have another to go. The bar exam is tough. I don't care what your grades were in law school, you better study and study hard. Because, believe me, thank you, that's right, thank you. You only want to take it one time. Once will be plenty. And if you study and you prepare, that will be a successful goal that you achieve. And don't forget, while you are juggling the practice of law, you will also be living a full and outstanding life. Now, I will tell you this. To those of you who were not in the top of their class, I want to offer a word of encouragement. Coming in first in your class, your law school class, is a great achievement. However, it does not mean that you will always be first. There are many ways to succeed in the practice of law. We used to joke in law school, Stetson, that if you were an A student, you were going to be a law professor. If you were a B student, you were going to be a judge. I was a solid B. And so it worked out for me. If you were a C student, you were going to go out into the private practice of law and make a lot of money. And some of that is true. So this is a whole new step in your life. I look out at this group of graduates, and I think back about how times have changed, and they have changed. When I went to Stetson Law School, entering class of 65, there were 6 women in the class. And that was the most that had ever been admitted to the schools at one time. There were 2 women students that were already on campus. There was 1 African American that was on campus at all time. Once that African American graduated, another was admitted. So thank God, times have changed. I love the diversity in this graduating class. It is a new world. I will tell you, when I graduated from Stetson and came to Atlanta and passed the bar, I still couldn't get a job. I couldn't get a job searching titles. So I did what I had to do. I went out to the Fulton County Jail, and on a Monday morning, I would be appointed a misdemeanor case. And at the end of that week, that Friday, I had to dispose of that case either by plea or trial. Now, I failed to mention that I also got a free breakfast on Monday morning, which at that point in time was pretty important. And from there, I built a practice. It wasn't easy, but it can be done. There are so many opportunities that are available for you. You've had a wonderful legal education at a wonderful school, and you're going to go out and do wonderful things. I think it's important to understand that there will be times when you may not succeed in what you're trying to do. And there have been times when I did not. But with every problem comes a possible solution. It's an opportunity, and hopefully you will take advantage of those opportunities and make the right choice. I can recall when I started doing some trial work, there were not very many women who did any kind of trial work at that point in time. And there was this one judge who was just awful to me. He did not like me. He would always rule against me, and he would refer to me, even in front of juries, as little lady. Now, my solution to that problem was to run for the Superior Court of DeKalb County. And so look for these opportunities. Now, I will tell you, at that point in time, there were 4 women who had been Superior Court judges in the state of Georgia. And frankly, everyone thought it was insanity. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get to run against that judge because a judge on the state court who had a real reputation qualified against him, and that judge retired, the one who gave me such a hard time. But one of the Superior Court judges decided he was going to retire early. And so I thought, well, there's an opportunity. And so I qualified, and there was a field of 5, all men. And I will tell you, frankly, I was not taken seriously. The newspaper said when I won the primary that before that I wasn't even considered a dark horse. So don't let people dissuade you from doing what you think is right, what you think you're capable of. So put yourself out there and try. Frankly, my opponent in the runoff was so confident of success, he took a week vacation. Of course, I worked the whole time. And if you ever are in politics and you're running for office, you will know that you're a serious candidate when your yard signs start disappearing. That's true. So it's really, really important that you do the very best you can, that you recognize opportunities, and you take advantage of them. And I think it's really important to have a sense of humor, because things aren't always going to go your way. But sometimes you win, and sometimes you lose. And this assistant DA in DeKalb County one time, things had not gone his way. He was a great lawyer and had done the best that he could do. But when it was all over with and the jury was out deliberating, he gave me this charge that he wanted me to consider giving. And it's called squirrels. I charge you that when it seems obvious that a witness is a squirrel and testifies exactly the opposite of what he's supposed to testify and humiliates the attorney who called him to the stand, you are to disregard his testimony and feel sorry for the attorney who called that witness to the stand and assume that the witness was just confused. Needless to say, I didn't give that charge, but it was an indication that he understood that sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. And as long as you have done the very best job that you can do, you should be proud of yourself. As I said, I'm proud to say I have been a member of the State Bar of Georgia for 40 plus years. And the law, along with medicine and theology, has traditionally been considered one of the world's 3 true professions. Medicine preserves the body, and theology preserves the spirit. The law preserves our safety, our rights, and our civilization. I believe that the practice of law is an honorable profession. It is the search for truth, for justice. It is the application of the legal knowledge and experience to the resolution of disputes and problems. I firmly believe that lawyers, or as Justice Namias would say, counselors at law, that lawyers are the champions of democracy. Lawyers and judges are vital to the protection of the individual rights and liberties that Americans hold so dear. Those rights were hard won by brave people who were willing to risk their lives However, and we call them patriots. However, had they lost the revolution, they would have been considered traitors, not patriots, and executed for treason against the King of England. They were willing to die for their cause. I believe that protecting those liberties is a sacred trust for present and future generations of Americans, and I believe lawyers should be and have always been at the forefront of defending those principles. Today, there are those who challenge the independence of the legal system and the impartiality of our courts. The courts are an important part of our democracy and provide essential balance in our government. We cannot allow politicians or special interest groups to limit our access to justice. We cannot allow political intimidation to undermine our system of fair and impartial courts. To do so would undermine our system of fair and impartial courts, and therefore our democracy. I hope as graduates of this school that you will be diligent in your defense of our legal system. In every case, you will be judged by others with whom you have contact. If you practice with principle and dedication to honor the profession, you will develop in the community a reputation to the above principles, and your career in the law will be a distinguished one. And I think Chief Justice of the United States, Charles Evans Hughes, who served as an Associate Justice from 1910 to 1916 and retired to run for President of the United States, but then was appointed as Chief Justice from 1930 to 1941, said it eloquently, and I quote, "And this is what you should strive for. The highest reward that can come to a lawyer is the esteem of his," and I'll add her, brethren, professional brethren. That esteem is won in unique conditions and proceeds from an impartial judgment of professional rivals. It cannot be purchased. It cannot be artificially created. It cannot be gained by artifice or contrivance to attract public attention. It is not measured by pecuniary gains. It is an esteem which is born in sharp contest and thrives despite conflicting interests. It is an esteem commanded solely by integrity of character, by brains and skill in the honorable performance of professional duty. In a world of imperfect humans, the faults of human clays are always manifest. The special temptations and the tests of lawyers are obvious enough, but considering trial and error, success and defeat, the bar slowly makes its estimate, and the memory of those careers which it approves are at once its most precious heritage, an important safeguard of the interests of society, so largely in the keeping of the profession of the law in its manifold services. So you are going to go out now into a very different world with different challenges. And when problems come along, remember, it's how you address those problems that's important. Everyone in their life has some problems, but address it positively and do your best to succeed in spite of those problems. So resolve yourself to strive each day to conduct yourselves in a dutiful and professional manner. You have special knowledge and skills which enable you to serve mankind. Use those skills wisely if you are to uphold the dignity, integrity, and honor of our profession and the foundation of our democracy. I want to thank you all for inviting me to be your speaker. It has been my honor, and I wish you all the greatest success in the future.
Thank you, Justice, for that wonderful address. It is now my honor to introduce the 4 faculty members who will be assisting Dean Rutledge in presenting to you our graduating students. Each of these individuals has been instrumental in helping our graduates arrive here today. They direct, advise, guide, teach, and inspire our students and support them on every step of their journey, or maybe I should say every step of their race. The first person is Allison Hale. Allison is the director of the Academic Enhancement Program and the faculty advisor for our Masters in the Study of Law program. She will be reading the names of our amazing graduating M.S.L students. Diane Marie Amon is the Associate Dean for International Programs and Strategic Initiatives, as well as the Woodruff Chair in International Law. She will be reading the names of our very inspiring LL.M students. Mirza Baradaran is the J. Elton Hush Associate Professor of Law, and she will be reading the names of our graduating JD students. And Professor David Shipley, who holds the Georgia Athletic Association Professorship in Law, will be assisting in also reading the names of our graduating JD students. Thank you.
Okay, members of the class of 2017, it is time to cross the finish line. Here's what's going to happen. In a moment, I'll invite the provost to the podium to confer the degree on you. As she does so, Dean Amon, followed by Professor Hale, and followed then by Professors Baradaran and Shipley, will read the names of the graduates. Myself, Justice Hunstein, the provost, and Mr. Herring will join you on stage to congratulate you. May I ask the members of the class of 2017 to please rise. And remain standing. Dr. Whitten, on behalf of the faculty of the University of Georgia School of Law, I'm pleased to introduce you to the candidates for the degrees of Master in the Study of Law, Master of Law, and Juris Doctor.
Thank you, Dean Rutledge. Here we are at the main event. So some of you are actually celebrating your second degree from the University of Georgia today. How many double dogs do we have? Let's show our hands. Very nice, very nice. Well, it is my great pleasure to bring the rest of you into the family of being graduates from the most elite university in the United States of America. So I've got a few words that I need to read, and I'm particularly careful in a law school graduation to make sure I get them just right. And once I've read these words, then you will officially be graduates from the University of Georgia Law School. So by the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia, I confer upon you the degrees of Master in the Study of Law, Master of Laws, and Juris Doctorate with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. Congratulations. Now we'll have the opportunity to celebrate each of you individually. All of you except those in the front row may now be seated, and you'll be conducted to the stage in proper order.
Felicia Crystal Armbrister. Tomison Ayula Ate Wologun. Johan Hervé Ebongam. Javier Alberto Gonzalez. Adrian Hanea. Urvashi Jen. Valerie Mills.
Hamid Moradi Rudpashti. Nelly Sandra Duteng. Omogbai Lawrence Oise. Gilbert Oleshergun Oledenbo. Olaniyi John Oyeyipo.
Master in the Study of Law, Shante Eel. Thomas G. Elliott. Stephen T. Strickland. Brannon Wilson.
Juris Doctorate degrees, William George Adams. Cody McGuire Allen. Joseph Eric Alsobrook. Caitlin Louise Amick. Rainsford N. Ammons. Jared Christopher Batey. Jordan Taylor Bell. Ryan Oliver Bell. Reed Lofton Bennett. Chad P. Berger. Aaron Bizgus. Rachel Mary Bishop. Chelsea Bull. Nicholas Matheson Booth. Jackson Timothy Branch. Xavier R. Brown. Alan Trevor Burr. Robin Danielle Burnett. David Anthony Caforio. And Antonino Camarata Jr. Caden B. Canfield. Anne Sanye Carroll. Kaylin Ann Carroll. Lindsay Elizabeth Casey. Molly Hubbard Cash. Christina Ashley Kaysen. Grayson Chambers. Arthur James Cheek. Ronald Frank Chicken. Mark Daniel Christopher. Thomas Daniel Church. Hannah Ruth Coleman. Emily V. Cox. Amber Nicole Crawford. Yeah, no problem. Shalia Diane Crochet. Jennifer Cross. Alessandra P. Cuna. Janice Katina Dabbs. Joshua Kyle Davis. Cassidy Lenora Dean. Gabrielle R. Dennis. Hayes Michael Deaver, Jr. Alan Luis Dickey. Abby Louise Dickey. Sorry. Gregory William Donaldson. Tiffany L. Donahue. Pedro Dorado. Bradley Daniel Dumbacher. Bethany Lynn Edmondson. Jacob Edwards. Catherine L. Ekstrand.
All right, Kate.
Joshua Jared Ely. Alexander Michael Engler. Ronald Mack Fields III. Megan Flanagan. Nicholas Flint. Joey Fong. Thomas Anthony Giannotti. Meredith Mann Gibson. Jacob Ronald Glass. Pascal Glavinos Jr. Fabian Jamal Goff. Nicholas Linus Going. Joseph Reese Goldstein. Anne Elizabeth Goodgame. Danielle Greenwich. Marcus Tyler Griffin. Mary Grace Griffin. Shirley Catherine Griffiths. Cassidy Johnson Greninger. Spencer Samuel Haley. Sarah E. Halstead. Thomas Lawrence Hatchett III. Benjamin Marshall Hill.
Thank you.
Caitlin Hill. Kyle Blake Holloman. Kelly Turner Holt. Catherine Grace Howard. Brooke Elizabeth Rhoda. Tyler Douglas Huseman. Angus William Panabaker Jackson. Melissa Brooke Jackson. Morgan Melody Johnson. Travis M. Jordan. Nicholas Norton Kemper. Faith A. Kalick. Elliot C. Kim. Kenneth Stanton Kincaid III. Riley King. Andrew Hampton Kite.
Good job. Ashley Nicole Klein. Zachary Charles Fritz Landy. Joseph Greenfield Lee. Matthew W. Lester. Brittany Sherrill Lucas. Adriana A. Mascione. Lee Magnum. Missed a page here. Sorry. Christopher Mann. Adam Lawrence Manzer. Alec Lawrence Manzer. Gregory D. Mark. Molly Catherine Martin. Carson Masters. Charles Clinton McGee. Blake Adam McLemore. Maggie Lynn McMichael. Brianna Lee McNeil. Charmaine Amy Meck. Kelsey Thomas Menendez. Jacqueline Tandy Mink. Kent Jared Miller. Mandy R. Morose. Christopher Edward Neal. Edward Graham Newsom. Brenny Wynn. Nicholas Donald Nunn. Amber R. O'Connell. Leslie Alexandra O'Neill. Chloe Esol Owens. Kayla Ray Cole Pansy. Rebecca Allison Parker. Michael Parrish. Brittany Marie Partridge. Harrison Pask. Zachary Aaron Payne. Natalie Fahn. Alicia Pickett. Robert Howard Pooleil II. Louis Joseph Potenti. Catherine Oline Powell. Alessandro Francesco Raimondo. Sabrina Rainey. Thank you. Christopher Rutledge Ramsey. Lindsay M. Reinhardt. Audrey Lucille Rogers. Matthew Benjamin Rosenthal. Stephen W. Rothering. Ashley Alicia Rudolph. Dana Schwarzenfeld. Olivia Maria Schofield. Hannah Sells. Emily Brooks Shannon. Ryan Nicole Sharp. Philip Scaley. Adam Christopher Smith. Andrew Zachary Ryan Smith. Micah David Smith. Michael Andrew Smith, Jr. Trevon R. Smith. Victoria Ashley Smith. Charles Gowan Spalding, Jr. Alexander Reed Spear. Anna Christine Stengel. Richard Jeremy Steinberg. Benjamin Please Stell. Sorry, Ben. Eric Sterling. Christopher David Stokes. Troy Stram. Donald Charles Susmith III. Brianna Caitlin Sullivan. Rebecca Larkin Taylor Parker. Meredith Fowler Thompson. John Kevin Tomes, Jr. Maria McConnell Trammell. I got it. Maria Jimena Vasquez. Jason Thomas Vucinich. David Ray Waldrop. Ashley Michelle Walker. John Carter Wethington. Samuel O'Neill Weaver. Calvin A. Webb. Paul Allen Wilds. Carol Louise Williamson. Sarah Elaine Willis. Thomas Hart Willoughby. Tyler Nathaniel Werfs. Taya Woodard. Lauren Elizabeth Woodyard. Emily Weich. Jinan Zhang.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the University of Georgia School of Law class of 2017.
Out front. The graduates are coming around the building. They'll meet you out front on the lawn.